In the famed Money Pit region of Oak Island, brothers Rick and Marty Lagena, along with their team, are currently engaged in the process of conducting a new excavation. RP3 is a steel shaft with a diameter of 7 feet that is being dug by them. It is located immediately to the north of two shafts that were dug not too long ago and are identical to RP2 and RP1. Prior to this, the holes were located over RP6, but they have been shifted to a location slightly outside of it. As the team's objective is to locate a tunnel, they are hoping to find material that has not been disturbed. It was stated that in the year 1861, treasure hunters attempted to drill through two-step wooden boxes located at a depth of around 110 feet within the original money pit that contained metal in bits. They had the belief that a large number of coins and other possible ridges had been found, but they were afraid that they were being guarded by a flood tunnel that had been constructed by humans. In the hope of safely retrieving the wealth from beneath the flood trap, they constructed an additional shaft known as Shaft 6, which was located 18 feet to the west and reached a depth of 118 feet. They then began tunneling towards the pit where the gold was located. However, just as they were about to reach their objective, seawater arrived, forcing tons of wood cribbing in the money pit to collapse. This resulted in the chests being crushed, and the Planet Shaft 6 tunnel was left with a debris field consisting of broken timbers and treasure that was spread over the area. The team is keeping their fingers crossed that RP3 will make direct touch with the Shaft 6 tunnel as soon as it reaches a height of 100 feet. They are hoping that they will remember it fondly. The priority that the team is using to select inquiries is quite straightforward. Where is it most probable that they will bring up a piece of treasure? Given what they discovered in RP1 and RP2, it is possible that since Rick has a strong interest in and around Shaft 6, it indicates that they are getting closer and closer to the riches. The depth of the hole is reported to be 67 feet, which indicates that the team is in a strong position to finish tomorrow and hopefully be in a position to reach their target zone. As the excavation of RP3 continues in the vicinity of the money pit, winter is not far behind. Jack Begley and Gary Drayton, who is an expert in metal detection, are braving the cold in order to seek for new clues and riches in the most northern part of the swamp. Both the finding of a gigantic stone road or ship's Wararf in the southeast corner of the swamp, which may be as old as 500 years, and the discovery of a vast paved feature near the middle of the swamp that dates back to as early as 1200 AD have left the team and their team members in a state of astonishment. During the course of this year, they have found multiple parts of a cobblestone route that is lined with wooden survey stakes. This pathway leads them to an empty structure that resembles a vault and is made of brick and slate. In light of these discoveries, the notion put forth by the late Oak Island proprietor Fred Nolan, who felt that the swamp had been created a very long time ago in order to conceal a great number of buried treasures, is supported. The group is currently working toward the goal of demonstrating that Fred was correct and discovering additional vaults that still have concealed ridges that resemble sea horizon buried within them. It would appear that the organic layer that lies beneath the marsh was excavated prior to it, and the team is paying close care to the soil as it is being brought into place. They discovered a variety of materials, some of which were iron, others were wood, and some were iron pins. The team is also evaluating whether there is evidence of a second ship's Wararf that is situated 4 feet underground in the northern region of the swamp. This Wararf could be related to the cobblestone route, and it could also be a buried vault similar to the one that was discovered earlier this year. In the late 1960s, Fred Nolan asserted that he had found evidence supporting the existence of a timber wall or dam that had been buried close to the northern limit of the brackish bog. A plan of Oak Island that was reportedly drawn in the 14th century and presented to the team in 2016 by the late Zena Halpern, who claimed that the Christian military quarter known as the Knights Templar was responsible for its creation, contains a feature that is referred to as the dam. This structure matches that feature. It is probable that the wood and hefty iron pegs that the team discovered were not from a Wararf, but rather from the wall that Fred Nolan claimed to have discovered more than half a century ago. Approximately 10 to 12 inches in width, a huge piece of lumber that may have been manufactured by humans has been discovered in the most northern part of the marsh. Fred Nolan is of the opinion that this lumber originated from a wall or dam that was constructed a very long time ago in order to artificially create the swamp. As of right now, the group is focused on locating a wall of stones that might be connected to the evidence of a man-made dam that Fred Nolan is said to have discovered in the vicinity of the marsh in the late 1960s. Given that Fred also believed that swamp was significantly altered in a variety of ways, including roads, walkways, ramps, paved portions, and stone roads, it is possible that it may be constructed in order to conceal a large number of treasure caches hidden inside it. There is a wall related with that manipulation on the northern end of the swamp, and the team is hopeful that this could lead to solutions to the puzzle if Tom's father was true, and there is a wall associated with that manipulation. During the course of the excavation of RP3 in the Money Pit area, the team continues to maintain their concentration on discovering the solutions to the questions that are associated with the swamp. In order to solve the riddle of Oak Island, study is essential, and Judy Rudebush, who is a research partner of Zena Halpern, has performed an in-depth investigation into John Edwards' works. These novels contain encryptions and codes that are thought to be directly related to the island. The team has uncovered clues from 5 books that were published in the 18th and 19th centuries. These texts include Basonic hints that link the Knights Templar, a medieval organization, and a kindred group known as the Knights of Malta to the mystery of Oak Island. Together with the Templars, the Knights of Malta traveled throughout the world, beginning their journey in Jerusalem as medical personnel. During the course of their existence, they were known as the Knights of Rhodes and the Knights of Malta. It was said that they had gained control of several rare religious relics, including the Holy Grail, the golden menorah that had been in King Solomon's temple in the past, and the Ark of the Covenant. A number of researchers are of the opinion that the Templars started protecting these jewels on Oak Island, which is located across the water. In 1307, the Pope and the King of France suddenly began persecuting the Templars on the grounds that they were heretics. These accusations were contentious. Despite the fact that a great number of Templar knights were imprisoned, a significant portion of their alleged sacred items and known valuables have never been discovered. Everything that the Templars owned was transferred to the Hospitallers after the year 1312, and the money that they had gathered from the antiques and riches was also transferred to them. Beginning in the 1550s, they began their journey from Cyprus to Rhodes, and then they moved on to Malta. They were excavating caverns in limestone, tunnels, and subterranean fortifications while they were on Malta. Subterranean fortifications were also being constructed. Taking this into consideration, it appears that Isaac Dasley and the Knights of Malta were successful in reaching Oak Island. Following the acquisition of Lot 5 in 2022, Lagena and his crew made the discovery of a rounded stone foundation close to the coastline. Archaeologist Larnan is of the opinion that this foundation may have been inhabited and altered by a number of distinct groups prior to the 18th century. They also discovered some very remarkable relics, such as a lead barter token, that is thought to have been made in the 14th century and may have some connection to the Knights of Malta. In conclusion, the enigma of Oak Island is a complicated and fascinating riddle that calls for the participation of multiple generations in order to unearth the concealed wealth and the connections between the Knights of Malta and the Knights of Malta. As part of their investigation into the mystery of the Knights of Malta, who were said to have left something on Oak Island, the crew is carrying out their job. They have discovered a great deal of various pieces of pottery and buttons that have not yet been identified, one of which is a button that has rays that are extending out in an odd manner. The button in question might be a part of the same narrative as the one that Trudy is following. Additionally, the team has found a number of beads that are identical to those belonging to the Knights of Malta, which suggests that they were interested in commerce.